Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. The poorly lighted hospital room creates long shadows over the clean walls. The only sound in silence is the quiet beeping of the cardiac monitor. A slow bag pours clear liquid through a small tube into Kim Menzies' arm. She lies quiet, her body hardly moving save from the gradual rise and fall of her chest under the hospital blanket. Her nose and mouth are covered by the oxygen mask, which foggers somewhat with every breath. With his hands tightly on hers, Jamal Menzies sits bent over at her bedside. Desperate to feel the warmth of her skin, to assure himself she is still here, his fingers cut her as he grasps her hand. In this moment his mother, the toughest lady he has ever known, seems so tiny and delicate. He studies her face, watching, looking for any movement. One feels as though they are choking. He never had felt this kind of powerlessness before. It chews at his chest, poised to swallow him. His imagination plays over the horrific moment he received the phone call. The way his heart stopped upon hearing the words heart attack. The mind-numbing terror of not knowing whether she would make it. The hurried trip to the hospital. Now seated beside her, the reality of it all falls over him. His mother, his support and defender, had practically disappeared from his life. Trying to ignore the worst-case situations whirling in his head, Jamal closes his eyes. His respiration is shallow and irregular. She cannot be lost to him. He is not going to survive it. Entering the room to check Kim's vitals is a nurse. She looks at Jamal and smiles somewhat sympathetically. She's stable, the nurse notes calmly. Her vital signs are becoming better. Jamal nods hardly. His throat is too constricted to react. Once more left alone with his mother, the nurse ends her check and silently leaves. Leaching forward, he rests his forehead on their linked hands. The room seems to be absolutely silent. His voice raw, he says, "Please wake up, Mom. Please." The minutes run on without stop. He hardly notes the passage of time. His thoughts keeps returning to their last chat before to all of this. Most likely one of her 90-day fiancé escapades, they had been light-hearted about anything small. She had been giggling, eyes full of mischief. That moment seems like it happened a lifetime ago. Then he experiences a small movement without notice. A twitch. His head jerks up, and his eyes fix on her face. Kim stirs just, her fingers weakly curling in his hand. Her eyelids flicker open, and she lets a quiet groan escape her lips. Her eyes are first unfocused. Jamal pauses to gather his breath. "Mom! Mom!" His heart thumping in his chest, his voice is just above a whisper. Kim blinks, looking about the room until she finds him. Her exhausted eyes flutter with recognition, then a weak, comforting grin. She says, "Hey, baby," her voice strained. Before Jamal can stop it, a choking sob comes out. His body falls forward, his forehead pressed against the rear of her hand as relief comes flooding over him. His voice trembling, he says, "You scared the hell out of me. I felt I was losing you." Kim's hands are gently stroking his. "I am still here." Jamal steps back and studies her face. She is dead, but she looks tired. Once more the door opens, and this time the doctor walks in carrying a copy of his paperwork. Though Jamal still feels the tension twist in his gut, his expression is serene, soothing. The doctor starts, looking between Kim and Jamal. "Ms. Menzies, though the good news is that there is no permanent damage, you have suffered a small heart attack. You will recover completely with rest and the correct treatment." Though Jamal's shoulders drop with relief, the tension still follows. He needs to be sure. He requires total certainty. "But she's going to be okay, right?" He hammers. "She won't. This won't happen again?" The physician gives the patient a nod. "We'll need to make some lifestyle changes, reduce stress, monitor her heart closely. But yes, there's no reason to believe she won't recover fully." Jamal tries to digest everything by hard swallowing and nodding slowly. His fingers still clutching hers, he turns back to his mother as though fearing she would vanish. Kim sees him, her face gentle. She is still attempting to reassure him, even in her frail state. After a few more directions from the doctor, he leaves them alone once more. For a long period neither of them talks. Jamal simply looks at her, savoring every detail. Her weary yet friendly eyes, the way her lips softly curve in a reassuring grin. At last Kim breaks the quiet. "You have to look after yourself, Jamal," she says quietly. "I don't want you broke over me." Jamal shakes his head and laughs weakly, gasping. "How can I not? To me, Mom, you are everything. Kim's focus softens. She stretches up, her hand quivering slightly, and cups his face. Baby, I'm nowhere going right now. But I need your guarantee of something. Jamal nods while his throat gets constricted. Anything. Kim lets out a long breath. You will also look after yourself, promise me. Son of yours is me. You really matter just as much. Fresh tears burn in Jamal's eyes. He points. I promise. Content. Kim lets her eyes sleep for a time, tiredness overwhelming her. Jamal lets go of her hand. Not at this time. Not once in a lifetime. The cardiac monitor keeps beeping steadily, rhythmically and forcefully. She is still here for just now. And in that case, everything that counts. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.